Hi everybody, it's Diane. It's a Sunday afternoon. I'm just kind of relaxing and I'm playing around with whatever I feel like doing. I did do a little bit of work on my Marcia journal. There's Pete. Not a whole lot, but I worked on one signature of it. And now I've been doing some other things, but now I'm going to do a little more work on my Mrs. Coggs images. You may recall that I have a bunch of Mrs. Coggs images that were left over from various kits from different journals that I've made, and I didn't use all of the cards from one specific kit, so I have a bunch left over. So I am making things with them. I have a bunch of booklets that I made. I think I showed you those. I have at least one tag and tuck spots and cards and all kinds of things. So I've got quite a pile here, but I have all of these left. So I'm going to do a little bit more today. Obviously I won't be able to finish them today, but we're going to do some more. And I have two projects prepped, and they're pretty simple. One is going to be a tag. I just took some ivory cardstock and used my tag punch and cut some tags in 2.5-inch width but varying heights. So it's pretty simple. I already inked around them, and I'm just going to sew a strip of lace down the center and then sew an image on. So there's a lot of sewing on the back, which makes it interesting, but you can write in between the stitching. So that's what we're going to do. And I think all of these that I have are from the Flower Children set. Yeah, Flower Children. They're so cute. So I'm just going to grab laces and ribbons that I have and go to town. So I'll do a few of these and then I'll show you the other project. I didn't make a prototype of that, I just have things prepped for it. So I'll just start by sewing around the lace. So the lace is on there, and now I'm just going to sew around the card. I can show you some other ephemera I was working on too with scraps. I didn't finish anything, but I, again, did some prepping. That was first thing this morning when I first got up. So there's that. Let's do another one. I haven't even been to church yet. You know, we're doing small groups scattered throughout the day, and my group is 7 p.m. So I haven't even... I have 2 hours now before I have to get ready to go. And we're outside when we meet. We meet outside, and it's cold today. It's not even 60 degrees today, and it was hot this week. It was 90 this week, and all of a sudden today it's nearing 60. Which I like. I like it better this way for sure. And I don't mind I'm playing the clavinova, which is like an electric keyboard. So our church, our service is in our side yard of our church, and there's a door on the side of the building that goes out there. So the pastor stands in the doorway. I think there might be a little awning there, but I'm not sure. And then the clavinova is inside in the hallway right behind the pastor, so I won't be outside. But the pastor's actually away this weekend. His wife's sister got married yesterday, so they went to Michigan for the weekend. And so the deacons are, each deacon is taking one of the groups and going to do the Bible study with us. My son is the deacon in my group. I'm going to put some ribbon. How about that black checked? I think that would be cute on some of these. So he's the deacon in my group. My son is. So he's going to be leading the group. He can't sing, but he has to lead the singing. But the clavinova will drown him out. They have it hooked up to speakers, and I guess it's pretty loud out there, from what people said. So I'll drown him out with the clavinova. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. Where do I want to cut that? So I'm hoping next week, maybe, we'll all get to be in the church again, but I'm not sure. Because we went to our next phase. So I'm not sure what the restrictions are now at this point. I can't even keep up. And I'm not sure if we could have met in the church today, but our pastor's away, so hopefully next Sunday we won't have to do it like this, because I really don't like going at 7 p.m. We do have an evening service, during our regular church schedule. We have 9:30 a.m. Sunday school and 11 a.m. church service, and then we have a 6 p.m. evening service, but not 7. But that's what we have right now, and I'm glad I get to go. Like that black check. It probably would look good behind them, but that's okay. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more to do, but first I'm going to show you what I did this morning. I just took some scraps, the cardstock scraps, not the thin paper ones. And I worked on all of these this morning. So some of them I cut into a pocket. I just trimmed it to a rectangle and then punched a hole. So I have a whole bunch of different sizes, and I will be adding things to them. So that's why I said I just prepped today. And so I've got a ton. I just pulled out a bunch of pretty patterned cardstock, and so there's different sizes for different size journals, and I did punch the thumb pull in all of them. And some of these pieces I've had for years. Love that one. Like this one, I've had that for years, and there's another piece of it. So then I took the smaller pieces that got cut off and just rounded the corners, and I'll be doing something with them. So they could, this one will be a tuck spot, and they could be journal cards. This will probably be a journal card. So I'm just prepping them as far as getting them cut to size, and that way I'll just grab them when I need them. In fact, I used one today when I was working on Marcia. So I'll be doing more with those. I'll do a scrapistry episode, but look at all these I have prepped and ready. Okay, back to what we're doing. So these, I was going to show you what I made those with. I had a set of recipe cards, a Betty Crocker, or I had two different kinds of recipe cards that you would have a subscription to, and they would come in the mail, and then you would put them in your box that you had. And I got them at a flea market, and they came with a lot of blank cards that you could write your own recipes on. So I took some of these and I just trimmed a little bit off so they weren't quite so wide. And I stamped them with my, I think this is a Prima stamp. It's just a background with a lot of different script on it. Usually I just leave it on the plastic, the heavy plastic that it's on. I don't think I've ever taken it off of that. I just rub the ink on it and then use this as my ink block because I don't have one big enough, or a stamp block. So I used my Stampin' Up! Sahara Sand ink and just stamped on all of them. I moved the stamp around so you get different aspects of the stamp on each tag. And then I used the same ink and just inked around. I rounded one corner so that can be a tuck spot. So some of them will be on this side and some will be on this side. And now I am going to add some of these images to them. So that's pretty simple, right? But effective. So let's see what we have. I don't think I want to do the black and white on these. I want something with a little more color to use with the black and white. So I could use that one and that one. This one's pretty. Love that one. Okay, so, and I still have all of these. Once I get all of these made into something, then I'm going to put them into, I'll keep some, but I'll put them into bundles and sell some ephemera. That's what this project is. It's going to use up some of my scraps, some of my leftover images, and it'll give me some ephemera, and then I can share it with you. And I'm having fun making all different types of things with them. They're beautiful images. I like these tags, and they're looking good. I have a few more to make. All right, now, do I need to add, that one's pretty, it's a small, narrow card, so I need a skinnier image. How about that one? Yeah, I think that's the one that's going to work the best. So I was wondering if I need to put some black or something behind those tags. I have something right here. So I got this pad of craft paper, 6x6, but it's thin. Just pretty much for this purpose, for when I wanted something dark. It was on clearance, that's why I grabbed it. Doesn't say how much I paid for it, but it was at Walmart, and it was pretty cheap. So sometimes I just want something black to be like a frame or a mat around an image. I think that one's too dark for that. Maybe I need red for that one, or green. I got a red one too. I don't know. Nothing is really working for that. I think I like that one. Zigzag around it, hopefully catching in the edges of both of those pieces of paper. Keep watching my stitching for it to start going bad again so I can take it to the place to have it, if they can service it. But so far it's doing okay. It's getting noisy, so I think the bobbin is starting to jump. When the bobbin thread goes low, then the thread, it jumps around and then the tension is weird. And it hasn't been acting up since I called them and talked to them on the phone. I like it with the black, probably for most of the rest. The black will work. I could just spend weeks just making ephemera with all scraps and images and stuff without working on a journal. Just build up a good supply of ephemera, pockets, tags. But I usually just kind of do it in between journal projects. When I do take my machine to get it fixed, adjusted, whatever, it'll be gone for weeks because they have a backlog. But I will work on putting more digitals in my shop. I don't think I need to back that with anything. That stands out really nicely. I can make glue books without my sewing machine. I can put more digitals in my shop. And I'm still working on getting the rest of my Monday Flea Market stuff ready. I got a lot of it in there. I could just straight stitch. I got postcards and the bird cards and something else I got in there. Just going to do a little zigzag to kind of match what's down there. But I've been measuring and cutting the vintage seam binding, prepping the book pages from that wildflower book, the big wildflower book. And I haven't even started on the 1840s handwritten receipts that were in that funny little cigar box thing. So I'm still working on that, and tomorrow's flea market day, if I go. Ha! I say ha because I tell myself you don't need to go every Monday, but I kind of do have to go. I feel compelled. What if I miss something? Because with at that market, you never know which vendors are going to be there. At the one that's in the barns, it's the same vendors. They have a permanent booth there, and so I feel like if I usually only go there once a month or so. I haven't been there yet because they're not this year because they're not open yet because they're in New York. But with the Monday outdoor flea market, you just never know who's going to be there. And it might be somebody that won't be there the next time, and they had something really good that I miss, you know? Besides, it's a highlight of my week. I love going. I'm trying to avoid sewing it twice. That one looks pretty. So this is just a basic ephemera making day, I guess. Nothing fancy. But I love it when I can make a supply of ephemera that are attractive. They look nice, but they don't take a ton of time. And they use up scraps. These aren't exactly scraps, but they're leftover images and a supply of these cards. Now this, I'm going to have to trim that so I can fit a mat around it. I just can't seem to get two on this black paper, the 6x6 paper. So now I'm making more scraps. Oh well, this paper was cheap. I could add a little bit of lace to some of these. In fact, I'll do that. After I sew this on, I'm going to add a little lace. Pretty them up a little. I have this spool of lace that I got from Hobby Lobby. Just cut one of these little portions off and add it on there. It just dresses it up a little bit. I could add some lace across the top if I wanted, or at the bottom. Let's try it a variety of ways. I could put a button on there, or one of my pretty little appliques. I've got blue in here, I think. Yep, there's a blue one. It looks pretty, but I think I'd like a button more. I think the button would show up better. Okay, let's try this one with a thin lace across the bottom, if I can find one. Just a thin little lace. That one looks pretty thin. And I can always dress them up, you know, put them away just as they are, and when I want to use them, dress them up. But if I'm going to sell some in ephemera packs, I want them to be all dressed up for you. All ready to use. Got these pretty little blue butterflies. That's pretty. So it's simple to make them like this, but it's fun to dress them up. I'm going to put some lace at the bottom of this one, I think. These are ribbon roses. These are all vintage, these little appliques. I got them at a yard sale. I think I might need something a little bigger there. Pink butterfly, not that one. Oh, there's a bow. That bow is pretty. That looks pretty. And I can dress these up too sometime. I'll see what I can find for this one. I'm looking. Trying to find something really cool to put on that. Not finding anything that says it needs to be there. I want something green. I wonder if this is too bright. It might work. Let's try this with the pearls. Nah, I don't like that. Oh well, I'll look for something for that some other time. Not finding it right off the bat. Let me look one more place. Basket of ribbon. Maybe put a strip of this at the top and the bottom. I kind of like that. Or I got this silver. I like it like that, layered. Okay, let's sew this on. Just leave a tiny bit of space between the ribbon and the card. Maybe I should glue it. Yeah, I'm gonna glue. That way the sewing won't interfere with the back and I won't have to fiddle so much with keeping them lined up. I cut them a little bit long, so I'll have to trim it when it's dry. Couldn't find just the right trim, so I created my own by layering. And I like the way that looks. It's cool. If I could find a little bit of black, a lace applique or something, that would be cool to add there, but I'll have to search for something later. All right, I will sew the rest of these before I get ready for church, but I'm gonna stop the video now because I think you've probably seen all that you want to see. I'm just gonna keep doing more of the same. Some of these tags I laid my background stamp on just to use up the rest of the ink. I didn't re-ink it for them, but that's a second and third generation, and it did get a mess there, but I don't care. I'm going to cover up most of that anyway. So I'm going to keep working on these till they're done, and then eventually I'll get to all of these. This is what I have left. I have to think of something that I can make with these big tags. Big cards. Maybe I could just cut some of them, like this picture is positioned right, that I could just cut that into a tag shape and maybe adhere it to something sturdier. And that one too. Maybe I'll just make tags with some of these big ones. So thank you for watching. I'll be back again with another project soon. Bye.